There's no gray area. It's not theirs. They're not a tenant. It's my house, and I don't want them using my address. Simple as that.
Last month, News 5 Investigates shared the story of Tim Johnson, who learned his home address was being used by a company that he had zero affiliation with. Since airing this story, News 5 Investigates began hearing about more cases of homeowners facing this same issue. Tonight, our Allison Zimmerman follows through on those reports, taking them all the way to the state capitol.
We heard from many of you after our last story aired, so we brought your concerns here to the state capitol to find out what can be done.
It was like, oh my God, deja vu. You know, this is what's going on with us.
Diane Terhune in Colorado Springs saw our story a few weeks ago about Tim. He learned an LLC registered with the state is using his home address.
When is the madness going to stop?
Secretary of State has a database. Why isn't someone dumping the database and looking for the same addresses and stuff?
And she wasn't the only one we found this is happening to. We found Sarah and Buddy in the Springs.
I'm like, I don't have a business account.
It just irritates the heck out of me when I see this and people just kind of let it slide and just not do anything about it.
And Mark Roybal in Pueblo West, who also showed us a massive list of businesses that all registered in the state in the last few months. Many of them with names that are just a combination of random letters.
Like 1,700 across the state. And it's like, wow, you can tell they're bogus.
Mark started looking into this after he got some suspicious mail.
I see a letter from the IRS and I'm like, I took care of my taxes already and got my refund, but didn't pay any attention to it till I came in and I opened it up and I saw that's not my name on there.
It was addressed to YGJ MHV Inc., a business he had no idea was using his address to register with the state. So he went online to the state's data marketplace to see, are there more out there? That's when he found hundreds.
Kind of gave me a sense of relief knowing that, wow, I wasn't the poor unlucky person that got picked on by somebody, that it's just a lot of people.
Mark reported this business to the Secretary of State's office as potential fraud. They told him it could take months. It's the same response Tim, Diane, and Sarah all got.
I would just think that there has to be a check. There has to be a verification. Anything you do, you have to have a verification that it's valid.
When we reported this last month, the Secretary of State's office told us more than 1,800 of these cases are currently being investigated.
You know, if there's that many out there, I think the Attorney General has better things to do than investigate this type of fraud that could be avoided before it starts.
Could the state be doing more on the front end to prevent this?
Well, I will say yes, there's always more that we can do to perfect our systems. It would be ideal if we were able to verify addresses up front eventually, and I think that's something that the state would definitely consider looking into, but that requires a lot of resources.
Senator Lisa Cutter is sponsoring a bill to address fraudulent business filings in the state. The bill streamlines a process passed by lawmakers a few years ago. For example, the Secretary of State's office would simply be able to flag all businesses using a fraudulent registered agent as the LLC instead of sending it off to the Attorney General's office. In many of these cases, we have found it is an LLC listed as the registered agent, not a person.
We want it to be easy for businesses to open up here, but also we want to protect people. So I think this bill is a good balance with that.
The bill does not address adding steps to verify an address on a business filing. It's something Senator Cutter says would cost money the state does not have.
Yes, I think it's a great idea. I think that when you're looking at hungry kids and you're looking at families of children with intellectual and development disabilities, not requiring the services and the things that they need to sustain them, then it's very difficult. As long as we're in this kind of budget situation, I couldn't, in good conscience, allocate resources towards that.
The state is facing a budget deficit. Cutter says adding that verification would likely mean additional labor and technology costs.
I'm a homeowner. I've owned a business in the past, and some of these things can really be an incredible nuisance. I think the more we can do to discourage fraud in the state, the more that those kinds of incidences will decrease.
The bill already passed the House and will be heard in the Senate. For these homeowners, they're hoping to see something change.
It's concerning when you start getting stuff from the IRS to an LLC, and I'm like, what if they're doing, I was concerned, what if they're doing something that's illegal?
It's already hard enough to start a business, but in the same respects, it's too easy for people to do fraudulent things.
They need to take this seriously.
And as you just heard, funding is really the biggest hurdle up here at the state capitol when it comes to addressing this. We'll continue to follow up on this legislation and let you know what happens. In Denver, Allison Zimmerman, News 5.